I too sing, America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll sit at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. I Too by Langston Hughes. Diaspora refers to a large group of people who may share a national or regional origin, but for a variety of reasons are living outside of their traditional homeland. The causes of diaspora can be broadly categorized into forced displacement due to events like war, slavery, natural disasters, or persecution, and voluntary migration for economic or educational opportunities. The diaspora of Africans during the transatlantic slave trade is one of the most notorious modern diasporas. 10 million people from West Africa survived transportation on ships to arrive in the Americas as slaves starting in the late 1500s. Diaspora communities face numerous challenges, including discrimination, cultural alienation, and the struggle to integrate into host societies while maintaining their heritage. Africa is the motherland of all Negroes. All Negroes were taken from Africa against their will and forced into slavery. Africa is the natural home of the race. One day, all Negroes hope to look to Africa as the land of their vine and fig tree. Therefore, it is necessary to help the tribes that live in Africa to advance to a higher state of civilization. It is the Negro who must help the Negro. To help the African Negro to achieve civilization is to prepare him for his place in the new African state that will be the home of all Negroes. And that's Marcus Garvey, Message to the People. Growing up in the Western school system, you begin to realize that a lot of history was purposely left out of the textbooks in order to structure a new world. Some scholars believe that there was a black population here in America way before the transatlantic slave trade. Was the transatlantic slave trade the origin of an African presence in the Americas? Or was there a hidden history not traditionally taught in the Western world? There are books that go into detail about the African presence in ancient America, like this one right here, They Came Before Columbus by Ivan van Sertima. And on page 144, he talks about the African-Egyptian presence in ancient America. He says, in 1938, Dr. Matthew Sterling led a joint team from the Smithsonian Institute and the National Geographic Society into the Gulf of Mexico to an obscure spot about a mile outside the village of Tres Zapotes. There, a year earlier, following up a rumor that some Mexican peasants had come upon a huge stone head in 1858 but had left it to sink back into its grave, Sterling uncovered what looked like the helmeted dome of that head. Spying out the land within the vicinity of this find, Sterling realized that the head was not buried in isolation, but, as certain large mounds indicated, in the company of other huge and probably related objects. To uncover all these would call for a major digging operation. Sterling therefore returned home to raise money and a team to do the digging. That team, which he brought back with him into the jungles of Veracruz in 1939, was to unearth some of the most startling archaeological finds in American history. They've tried to erase history, alter history, but the fact that they found those, Olmec statues in Mexico tells us that the transatlantic slave trade wasn't the first time that we traveled from Africa to a different land. In fact, it tells us we were already here.